Okay, so now let's go for the second problem for identifying direct variations from equations. So now, again, we said that we have to check that y, after simplifying everything, y, the form is going to be y equals kx or not. Okay. So now let's see here. We said we have to move everything besides the y, so it's going to be this form, y equals something. So here, first of all, we're going to move the 7 over here. It's going to be equal, what's wrong here? It's going to be equal y equals 14 over x divided by 7 plus 7 divided by 7. So now let's simplify more. It's going to be equal 14 divided by 7, which is 2x, plus 7 over 7, which is 1. So now we're going to check, is this form the same as this form? No. Why? Because here it's going to be y equals kx only. It's not plus something. So here we have plus 1. And here we don't have plus something. So it's not the same form. It means no, y does not vary directly with x. So it means we don't have a constant variation. Now let's check our solution. Let's see here. We said we're going to move everything. It's going to be 2 equals y equals 2x plus 1, as we concluded at the end. Since you cannot write the equation in the form of y equals kx, y does not vary directly with x, does not. So this is how we found from the previous lesson, from the previous example and this example. Now let's see if we have more examples about this topic here. Yes, we have one more example. Identifying direct variations from equations. Again, we have for the function 5x plus 3y equals 0, determine whether y varies directly or not, and if so, what is the constant variation. Okay, so now let's check this. It's going to be 5x plus 3y equals 0. And we want it in the form, we're going to check if it's in the form of y equals kx. So we're going to move everything away from y. So now let's start moving. It's going to be 3y. We're going to move 5x over there. So it's going to be equal to negative 5x. Now we're going to move to divide by 3 here and divide by 3 here. It's going to be equal y equals negative 5 over 3x. So now we're going to check, is this form the same as this form? Yes. So the first thing here we got is yes, y varies directly with x because they got the same form. And what's the constant of variation here? Which is k. It's going to be k, or the constant variation equals negative 5 over 3. So let's check our answer there. Okay, so we got everything away from y, then we got this, yes. So yes, y varies directly with x, as we said, and the constant variation is 5 over 3, so it's correct. So this is how we identify direct variations from equations, and we knew how to find it, to identify, the direct variations from the tables. Now we got to go for the third idea we have here, which is using a proportion to solve a direct variation. Okay, so let's remember the point that I gave you at the beginning of the lesson here, which was talking about in a direct variation, y over x, which is a proportion here, is the same for all pairs of data where x is not equal to 0. So if I gave you 2 points as these, and I asked you what is, for example, if I gave you x1 and y1, and I gave you x2 and I asked for y2, how are we going to find y2? If they already told us that the y is directly variated with varies directly with x, we're going to use this proportions. Okay, so now let's check the example we have, which is asking for suppose y varies directly with x. Girls, you have to find whatever is missing here. To find it, using the proportion way, you always have to see this sentence. Suppose y varies directly with x, because if y does not vary directly with x, you cannot solve this based on the proportion way. So suppose y varies directly with x and y equals 9 when x equals negative 15. What is y when x equals negative 21? Okay, just let me post it there. Okay, so we said when it says suppose y varies directly with x, it means we have y1 over x1 equals y2. What's wrong here again? y2 over x2 and y3 over x3 and so on. So now we're going to find y when x equals negative 21. So let me just have it as points. The first point we have here as negative 15 and 9. This is as x1 and y1. And the second point we have here is 21 and y. So we're going to use the proportion way to find it. So let's now try them. It's going to be y1 over x1. So it's going to be 9 over negative 15 equals y2 over x2. So here's y2. This is y2. So it's going to be y2 over x2, which is 21. So how can you find y2? Using the cross multiplication, which is going to be, let's now try using the cross multiplication here. We're going to multiply this by this, and we're going to multiply this by this. So it's going to be equal to 21 times 9 equals y2 multiplied by negative 15. So now 21 times 9 is going to be, I guess, equal to 189. 21 times 9. So it's going to be equal to 189, which is equal to y2 times negative, this is multiplied by negative 15. Now we have to divide everything by negative 15, so let me just continue over here. It's going to be equal 189 divided by negative 15 equals y. So using the calculator, it's going to be equal to negative 12.6 y2. Wow. So it's going to be equal to negative 12.6. Let's check our answers. Yeah, so again we made the cross multiplication over here. It's going to be 9 times 21 equals negative 15. So they divide everything by negative 15. We got negative 12.6. So y is negative 12.6 when x equals 21. Okay, let's solve the second problem we have here, which is the same idea. Suppose y varies directly with x and y equals 15 when x equals 3. What is y when x equals negative 12? Okay, so let's solve it together. Okay, again, so we're going to use the proportion here, which is again y1 over x1 equals y2 over x2. So here again, we're going to write them as points. So y equals 15, x equals 3. It's going to be like the first point we have 3 and 15. And the second point we have is 12 and y2. So now we're going to use this way to find the answers. We're going to write y1, which is 15 over 3 equals y2 over 12. Now, like before, cross multiplying, 15 over 3 equals 5, so let's solve it as this way. It's going to be equal to 5 equals y2 over 12. So instead we're just going to multiply 12. Oh, what's wrong here? So instead we're going to multiply 12 by 15. It's going to be equal to, like here, y2 equals 12 times 5. So y2 using the calculator is going to be equal to 60. What's wrong again? Equals to 60. So y equals 60 when x equals 12. Now let's check our answers. So we made 15 over 3. They used cross multiplication here, but I thought that it's going to be easier. Like 15 over 3 is going to be 5 times 12, which is 60. Here they made it 15 times 12, which is 180, equals 3y. Then they divided everything by 3. They got y equals 60. So these are the 3 ideas we're going to have for this lesson. On Sunday, inshallah, we're going to continue this lesson. Have a nice day, girls, and have a nice weekend.